Hi, and welcome to mathematicsmadeeasy.com. Myself Arun Kumar Singh. I am a graduate from IIT Roorkee. In this video, we are further continuing on the concepts of quad algebraic expressions, which is targeting only for the class 7 students of CBSE and ICSE boards. So in the last lecture, we have talked about that what is a literal and what are the variables and what are the different properties of addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. So we will continue further on different concepts on algebraic expressions. Now let's go through the definition of algebraic expression. So its definition is a combination of constants and variables connected by the operations addition, subtraction, division and multiplication is known as algebraic expression. So let's write down the definition first. A combination of constants and variables. We also call variables as literals. If both are connected by operations plus, minus, multiplication and division, is known as algebraic expression. So if I write something like this, 3x plus 4y plus 2xy. So here you can see that constant terms are also there, variables are also there, and all are combined using plus sign or minus sign or multiplication or division sign. So the whole term is known as algebraic expression. Okay. Also, the individual terms, like if 3x, 4y, 2xy, which are separated by plus, minus, multiplication or division, these are all called as terms. So you can also write down the definition of terms. Terms of an algebraic expression that would be what? Several parts of an algebraic expressions separated by plus or minus sign are called the terms of the algebraic expression. Don't go much about the definition, just understand the concept. Suppose there is any algebraic expression written as 2x minus 5y plus 3xyz. So the individual terms which are connected by plus or minus, these are all called as terms. this is also a term, this is also a term, and this is also a term. Say for another example, if I say there is an algebraic expression ABC. So ABC is an algebraic expression, but there is only one term, that is ABC only, right? Here in this algebraic expression, how many terms are there? 3, right? So till now we have talked about the algebraic expression and its own terms. Now, depending on the number of terms present in an algebraic expression, we can also classify the algebraic expression in different types. So let's go through that. Various types of algebraic expressions. So first one is monomial. Second is binomial. Binomial expression, monomial expression, binomial expression. Third one is trinomial expressions, and last one is multinomial expression. So this is very simple. Monomial expressions are those expressions which has only one term. Those algebraic expressions which have only one term, those are called as monomial. If I say there is a algebraic expression 5x, so there is only one term present in this expression, that is 5x, so it is a monomial. Similarly, if I write as like plus 13xyz upon 60, right? So this is also one term, there is no other sign of plus and minus, so this is again a monomial. If I say minus 30, although there is no variable present, but this is also a algebraic expression with one constant term, that is 1, so it is also a monomial. So I think now you can easily identify a monomial algebraic expression. In binomial, what you can say, there are two terms present in a algebraic expression, that would be called as a binomial. For binomial, let's take an example. If I say there is an expression x plus y, so because there are two terms present which are separated by plus, one term is this, one term is this, so this has two terms, so it is a binomial, right? If I say another example, a square b minus 3b square c, which type of algebraic expression is this? So we can identify that there are two terms which are separated by minus, so there are two terms, so it is a binomial, right? Moving to third, that is trinomial. Any algebraic expression which is having three terms, that would be called as trinomial, right? Example, a square b minus b square c plus 2abc. So how many terms are there? One term is this, another term is this, and third term is this. So how many terms are there? 3 terms. So this is a trinomial, correct? Similarly, if I say x plus 2i minus 3z, so how many terms are there? One term, two term, and three term. So there are 3 terms, so this is also a trinomial, correct? Now moving to next, that is multinomial. Multinomial is just the generic term. any algebraic expression which is having more than one terms, so those will be called as multinomial. An algebraic expression containing more than one term is called a multinomial. So you can say that binomial, trinomial are also a multinomial. So just write down the definition. An algebraic expression having more than one term is called a multinomial. So we can say that binomial, because binomial has two terms which is more than one, right? Trinomial are also multinomials, right? So for example, any algebraic expression which is having more than one term. So say for example I say 2 by 3 x square plus 3 by 5 y square minus 2 by 9 x y. So how many terms it has? Or suppose I'll also add some constant term as well, 3. So how many terms it has? 1, 2, 3 and 4. It has 4 terms which is more than 1, right? So it is a multinomial. If I say a plus b plus c, how many terms are there? 3. So this is a trinomial, but you also know that trinomials are also multinomial. So you can say that this is a multinomial or trinomial. This is a multinomial or trinomial. Correct? So I think that you understood the concept of monomial, binomial and trinomial as well as multinomial. Now let's talk about factors. Factors of a term. You know what is a factor? Factor is kind of whenever you multiply 2 or 3 terms or 2 or 3 variables, then you get the new thing, right? So when 2 or more quantities, whether it is number or literal, are multiplied to form a term of an expression, then each one of these quantities are called a factor, right? In case of a constant factor is called a numerical factor, while variable factor is called a literal factor. So there are two types of factors, you can say. Constant factor and another is, you can say constant factor is called as a numerical factor and variable factor is called as literal factor. Say for example, if I say that there is a algebraic expression or there is a term 3ab, so what are all the factors? So the numerical factor is in this is 3 and literal factors are a, b and ab. A is also a factor of 3b, b is also a factor of 3a and ab is also a factor of 3, right? So 3 is your numerical factor, a, b or ab, these are all your literal factors. Correct. So let's take another example. 9a square b. Find the factor of this term. So numerical factor is minus 9 And literal factor is what? We can break a square b in how many terms, right? So a is one, a square can be another one, ab can be another one, b can be another one, correct? So these are all, or a square b. So these are all the literal factors, and this is your numerical factor of a term. What is a constant term? So suppose if there is any algebraic expression is given to you, can you identify what is the constant term? Yes, of course. So in an algebraic expression, a constant term is the term which has no literal factor, right? Suppose I say that there is a algebraic expression is like this. So this is a constant, but it has a literal factor, right? 4 is also a constant, but it has a literal factor y. So 4 is not a constant term, 3 is not a constant term, but 2 is a constant and it doesn't have any literal factor. So 2 is a constant term in this algebraic expression, right? So what would be the definition of the constant term? In an algebraic expression, a term which has no literal factor is called a constant term. Let's take another example. X square y plus 2xy plus y square plus 3. So which one is the constant term present in this expression? That would be 3, because it doesn't have any literal variable multiplied by it, right? Now we'll talk about the coefficient. So what is a coefficient? Any one of the factors of the terms is called coefficient of the product of all the remaining factors. In a term, if numerical factor attached to the variable is called the numerical coefficient of the term. Let's take an example. Suppose if I say that 8x square y. In this, we have just talked about the terms, right? So how many terms are there? Numerical term is 8 and literal terms are x, y, x square and xy, x square y. These are all the literal terms. This is your constant term, right? So the constant term is known as the numerical coefficient. So numerical coefficient would be 8, right? What about literal coefficient? The literal coefficient would be x square y. If I ask that what is the coefficient of x, so if I take out one x from this, then how much would be remained? 8xy. So coefficient of x is 8xy. Similarly, if I say what would be the coefficient of y, that would be 8x square. If I take one y here from this, then how much will be remained? 8x square. Similarly, coefficient of x square will be how much? 8y. Because if I multiply the coefficient and the whose coefficient is this, then it should result into the whole expression. So coefficient of x square would be equal to 8y. Similarly, coefficient of y is equal to 8x square. So you got the idea of coefficients. Now let's talk about the like terms. This is very important concept because using like terms you will be doing several algebraic operations. Like terms. So if the coefficients of the constant terms are same, then you will say that they are the like terms. Terms having the same literal coefficients are called like terms. Otherwise, what we'll say? Otherwise, those would be called as unlike terms. Example, if I say 5xy and minus 3xy. So what is the literal coefficient? In this case, literal coefficient is xy, or in this case, literal coefficient is again xy. Both are same, right? So it means 5xy and minus 3xy are the like terms. Take another example. If I say 2a square b and 3ab square. So what is the literal coefficient here? That is a square b. And what is the literal coefficient here? That is ab square. Are these two same? No, right? Because here it is a square b, here it is ab square. So these two are literals are not same. It means these two are not the like terms. These two are unlike terms.